Welcome to NCERT for UPSC. Today we are going to discuss the 6th chapter of Class 6 NCERT Geography, which is Major Landforms of the Earth. In this video, we are going to discuss the major landforms such as mountains, plateaus and plains. So let's begin our video. The Earth has so many different types of land. Some areas are rugged, such as rough and uneven, while others are flat and smooth. All these shapes on the Earth's surface are called landforms. Now, how are these landforms formed? They are mainly formed by two types of processes, which are internal process and external process. Internal process is nothing but the continuous movement within the Earth which leads to the upliftment and sinking of the Earth's surface at several places, which means these movements happens inside the Earth continuously, and these movements cause the land to rise in some places and sink in other places. External process are continuous wearing down and rebuilding of the land surface. Wearing away means erosion and surface rebuilt by deposition. This is nothing but the changes that happen on the surface of the Earth and worn down by wind, water or ice. This is called erosion. When these materials get collected and settled in other places, it is called deposition. So the land is always changing. Some parts get worn away and some get built up again. And these are carried out by running water, ice and wind. And landforms are broadly divided into three types, such as mountains, plateaus and plains, depending on their elevation and slope, which means height and slope. Now let's first discuss about mountains. A mountain is a natural elevation of the Earth's surface. Here we need to note down it is an elevation and it is natural that happens on the Earth's surface. And mountains have small summits and wide base or broad base. It means small top, that is called a summit, and base, which is wide. And some mountains have glaciers. Glaciers are nothing but permanently frozen rivers of ice. The weather in the mountain areas is usually cold and harsh, and because of the steep slopes there is less land for farming and only few people lives there, and hence the less livelihood. And here's the interesting thing, that not all mountains are on land. Some mountains are under the sea as well. The example is Mauna Kea. It is in the Pacific Ocean near Hawaii. It is an underwater mountain and it is about 10,205 meters, which means greater than the Mount Everest. It is an undersea mountain. Now let's see what are mountain ranges. Mountain range means the mountains that may be arranged in a line is known as range. Mountain ranges are the series of parallel ranges and they may extend over hundreds of kilometers. For example, the Himalayas in Asia, the Alps mountains in Europe and the Andes mountains in South America. Now let's go more deep into the mountains. There are three types of mountains, which are fold mountains, block mountains and volcanic mountains. The examples of fold mountains are the Himalayas and the Alps. These are called young fold mountains. These mountains have rugged relief and high conical peaks. These are the features of fold mountains, in which their relief is rugged and uneven, and the peaks of these mountains are conical in shape. The Aravalli range in India is the oldest fold mountain system in the world, and it is worn down due to the erosion. The other example of the fold mountains are the Appalachians in North America and Ural mountains in Russia. These mountains have rounded features, low elevation and very old fold mountains. It means when the fold mountains gets older, their features become rounded because of the erosion and the worn away, whereas new fold mountains have sharp and conical peak. Now what are the block mountains? Block mountains are created when large areas are broken and displaced vertically. It means they are formed when large blocks of Earth's crust are broken and moved up and down due to internal forces. Now the uplifted block is called host and the lowered block is called graben. Examples of block mountains are Rhine Valley and Vosges Mountain in Europe. Now let's see how the volcanic mountains formed. Volcanic mountains are formed due to volcanic activity, which means when the molten rock, which is lava, comes out from inside the earth and cools down, it forms a mountain over time. The examples of volcanic mountains are Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa and Mount Fujiyama in Japan. Now let's understand the importance of mountains. Mountains are called the storehouses of water. Most of the rivers start from the glaciers found in the mountains, and this water is used for irrigation and drinking. The river valleys and terraces near mountains are very fertile and suitable for farming. Terraces are nothing but a flat platform-like area of the earth which is created on the slope. This is done mostly for the agricultural purposes on the mountains. And mountains contains rich variety of flora and fauna, which means mountains are home to a wide variety of plants and animals. And forests in mountain regions provide fuel, fodder, wood, herbs and other useful products such as gum, raisins, etc. And mountains are also beautiful places that attract tourists for their natural scenery. And many adventure spots like paragliding, hang gliding, river rafting and skiing are popular in mountain areas. Now let's know about plateaus. A plateau is a flat-topped tableland standing above the surrounding area. In other words, we can say a plateau is an elevated flat land, and the height of the plateau differs from 100 to thousands of meters. And plateaus can also be old plateaus or young plateaus like old mountains and young mountains. Examples are Deccan Plateau in India is one of the oldest plateaus, and East African Plateau in Kenya, Tanzania and Uganda, Western Plateau of Australia are other examples. And the Tibetan Plateau is known as the roof of the world because it is the highest plateau with an average height of 4,000 to 6,000 meters above the sea level. And plateaus are also rich in minerals. So many mining areas are located in plateau areas. Examples are the African Plateau, which is famous for gold and diamond mining. And Chota Nagpur Plateau in India has huge reserves of iron, coal and manganese. And several waterfalls are located in plateau areas as the river falls from a great height. Examples include Hundru Falls on the Subarnarekha River in Chota Nagpur Plateau and Jog Falls in Karnataka. And some plateaus are formed by lava that cooled and become flat. These are called lava plateaus, and they have black soil which is very fertile and good for farming. Now let's understand about the plains. Plains are large stretches of flat land, usually not more than 200 meters above the sea level. Most plains are formed by the rivers and their tributaries. And here's how it happens. Rivers flow down from mountains carrying sand, silt and small stones. As the rivers slow down, they deposit these materials along their valleys. Over time, these deposits form plains. Plains are usually very fertile, so they are good for farming, and they are also easy to build on, which makes construction and transport simple. And that's why most people live in plains, making them thickly populated areas. And the largest plains found in Asia and North America. For example, in Asia, Ganga Brahmaputra plains of India and the plains formed by the Yangtze River in China are famous. And in India, the Indo-Gangetic plains are among the most fertile and densely populated regions of the world. Why densely populated? Because the flat land available in the plains and also it is suitable for cultivation, which is providing two things, shelter and food for the human life, and hence they are densely populated. Now let's differentiate between a hill and a mountain. What is a hill and what is a mountain? A hill is a land surface that rises higher than the surrounding area but not as high as a mountain. When a hill rises more than 600 meters, it is usually called a mountain. And there are 14 mountains in the world that are above 8,000 meters, and all of them are located in the Himalayan and Karakoram mountain ranges. And here is the list of those 14 mountains which are exceeding 8,000 meters height. There are 10 mountains in the Himalayan region and 4 mountains in the Karakoram region. You can remember these mountains along with their height. The 14 mountains are Mount Everest, Kanchenjunga, Lhotse, Makalu, Cho Oyu, Dhaulagiri, Manasulu, Nanga Parbat, Annapurna, Shishapangma. And the 4 mountains under Karakoram range are K2, Gasherbrum 1, Broad Peak and Gasherbrum 2. So that's all about the major landforms of the earth. Hope you have learned something new today. Jai Hind.